What's up, guys? Back from another video. Now in today's video, I want to show all my devices' battery healths. Well, not all, I have more, but most of them, my main used ones, after a certain amount of time. And what the heck? We'll open the drawer up, guys, my dresser drawer, or my nightstand drawer, where I will find two things. I'll find myself my iPad 7th generation. Pretty old. That was my sister's first. And this is my old iPad 5th generation. So this is 2017 we got this thing. So ancient. Runs latest software still. So I'm going to boot both of these devices up. And then I'm going to plug the iPads into the computer. Because they don't have a reader in the settings app. So let me turn my lamp on and shut my, let's see, can I adjust this a bit? We're looking at this, so maybe down. I can turn my thing off because I got my light. Okay, cool. So the iPad is booted. I want to click the computer on, and we're going to take a look at the devices. So let's do this. First, I'm going to go Touch ID. I want to go to Coconut Battery. Now, if you guys have a Mac, this is a great option for you. It's an amazing app. It's simple, but it gives you the info you need. And I'm telling you, right now, I found this off one of my tech YouTubers, and I just decided to download it myself, and it works great. So, if you guys can read that there, I can't really get it any bigger. I can move the cam if needed. But right there we got, and this is the MacBook. So if you guys can see, that. Go full screen mode. It's 87.3, that's the battery. Now, you'll notice that it's never the same as the reading. So the reading, here, let's move this down even more, just so I can get some ambient background light. Now, I want to show you the difference without that on. So if I turn that off now it's like weird. So one light will really help you, guys, just no matter how it is. Anyway, so 87.3 is what we're reading. Now, you might notice that this is different than what we're seeing up here. Now, these programs are able to read even more specific than the actual battery in the top, because it doesn't say 88.3 in the top corner, it just says 88. So this gives you more specific readings on everything, even in the settings app. So this Coconut Battery app, I do recommend if you are looking at this stuff and looking at the battery of things. So I do recommend. But anyway, we're going to get to it. So I can go, and how I work this is I go to history. Now I want to show you my 6. That's actually recording a dog video, a time-lapse thing at my grandpa's right now in the room. And this was my iPhone 11 Pro Max. Remember that phone I had before I got my new one, which I'm filming on right now, by the way, in high quality here. So how does it look? And here you go, that's my iPhone 11 Pro Max, the main phone I used to have. I made to use a ton of videos on that phone. That phone, I've only had since 2019. The battery that was put in the 6 was put in 2018, near 2017. And so my iPhone 11 Pro Max was heavily used. It had 77% with 1,310 charge cycles. Now, what charge cycles is every time your phone goes from 0 to 100% battery. So that's why they recommend charging it down to 20 and up first, or before. And I never follow that. I'll admit to you now, that's why my phones are like that. But it doesn't make too much of a difference. It helps you a little bit, doing that 20 to 100 rather than 0 to 100. I use my phone, and they recommend not to take it out in cold weather and stuff. And I don't leave my phone outside in cold weather. If I'm out there shoveling, I put it in my pocket. But I have a phone. I want to use the phone. That's why I got the phone, is to use it. So as long as I'm not leaving it outside in 45 below weather, then it's gonna be fine. But anyway, my iPhone 6, like I said, 1,081 cycles, but 53%, and this was in September. So now I'm looking at probably 1,180 cycles with probably 40% or 50 maybe still. But that phone is struggling hugely. It is on its last, I'm telling you. So phones don't last forever, and 6s especially have major problems with their batteries. Huge problems with their batteries. Before, that 6 had a faulty battery in it, and 6 batteries were not great. So that shows that iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is probably toasted now, they probably burnt that thing and took parts out of it, but it was at 77% health at 310 cycles, which proves they had made that improvement over the time. That improvement was made. I hope you guys can see what I'm looking at. You can. Maybe I can zoom it in a bit there in the corner. If it's gonna make it awkward. No, we'll leave it here. But yeah, that's got 1,081 cycles for what we're looking at there. Let's see, and then that's for this 310 or 1,310 for the 11 Pro Max, but higher, way higher percent than the 6 at 1,081, and that shows Apple's making improvement on their batteries. So with my 14 here, in a few years, when I hit that same amount of cycles, I'm guessing we'll be at 80. You know, I'm guessing that. Just because I know it is. Now, if I look at it says 102% health. So this phone's brand new. I just got it in November. It's brand new. This program's reading me 102%. So it's showing that the battery in the phone is operating better than it was designed to. Now, by June, will it say 102? No, it's not. It's going to go down to probably 98, and it is not going to scare me. I understand that's a battery thing. Batteries degrade over time. They are being made better, but I want to tell you guys that now. Don't freak out over your battery. Your battery will go at one point. Now, if you're a heavy user like me, like my 6 was going every day, 0 to 100 every day, that's why you buy a phone. If that's what you want to do with your phone, buy it. Use it. My 6 has been going on for 6 years now, and it's still going crazy, plugged in. I can't use it for bike ride videos like I used to. I can't do that stuff because it won't last. But I can use that phone as an extra phone for a camera, for a time lapse out the window. I can use that phone for a ton of things. So if you got an old phone, bad battery, don't throw it in the drawer. That'll make it worse. Just find a use for it. Make a time lapse in your window. It's really cooler than it is. Put it outside if it's a warmish day. In the cold, forget it. That 6 won't last if it's 50 degrees. It'll just start dying while it's plugged in. It's got to be normal temperature in the house for a battery to work as it should anyway. You should never charge a battery if your temperature is above 95 or below 32. So if you're outside and you're using your phone and it's getting low and it's like 10 outside, 10 degrees, do not plug that phone in. It's going to ruin that battery. It won't ruin it. Like say you had your phone and you left it in the car and it was cold. Like I'm talking in the car, it was 20 below. And left that phone in there accidentally. If the phone wasn't charging, you're not going to be experiencing too many problems. You might notice a percent degrade if it's been in there for 10 hours at that temp. Maybe a percent. That's nothing, honestly. However, if it's plugged in at that temperature, that battery is trying to make those chemical reactions, even though it can't. So that really screwed your battery. Now, heat is different. Heat will affect your battery even worse, even if that battery is, even if your battery is not charging or dead, it will affect that battery real bad in the heat. So that's why I want to make that clear. Now, I'm going to attempt to fire these iPads up. So we're going to unlock this one. We're going to unlock this. Now, I usually have little problems connecting these for the first time. It wants to give me an error, did not trust or something. So I'm going to start off with the phones, and I want to plug them in, and I want to show you guys the difference here of what we're reading. And I definitely believe Coconut Battery or any software on the computer more than I do the phone. Now, it shows that the phone does have an accurate representation, because, it is. But if I go over to battery health, on the iPhone 7, we are reading 87. I got this phone about 2 years ago, so we're above what it is supposed to be. I'm so... Where did I put that cord? Did I leave it in this room? I hope. That'd be nice. Oh, I did. Nice. Okay. So I just take my MacBooks, the one I have only has a USB input, so I have to take one of them cords. Or it doesn't have it has a USB-C only, not a USB. So, and then I'll shove that cord into my iPhone 7. I'll go to iOS device, and see we had an error. It gave us an error. So I'm going to unplug it again. Okay, and then I'm going to plug it back in. Now, the phone may charge annoying. Maybe I got to take the case off. So that's one thing I don't like about these is they always have trouble connecting, but once it is, it's, you're going. And sometimes you even got to restart the device. So if I run into huge problems, I'll do that behind the scene. See, we're running into that weird pop-up. Okay, allow accessory to connect. Allow. See, trust. Okay, I trust it. I'm going to put my password in. Our password is inputted. Now can I retry? So then I got to go unplug the device and plug the device again. And now I have luck. So it's a little finicky. So I have my iPhone. It's named iPhone 7 White iPhone. I usually call it my white phone. That's why I haven't named that. As you can see, here's our charge. Now I don't want you to get confused. So I'm going to pick the camera up and I'm going to show you. Here is the difference. We're reading right here. Here's our, sorry about that flash, our current full charge capacity. You said you got this phone 2 years ago and your battery's 99.2. You must have got it replaced. I didn't. And that's below. That says design capacity. That's talking about, their wording isn't great. I'll admit to you that. But that's fine. Now it's saying that this percent right here, 1960 milliamp hours, is actually the battery what the battery was when the phone was given or sold out to me and I opened the phone. That's what the battery is telling me right there. That's what that battery used to be. Now our battery is 1719. So not much of a drop. It's doing very great actually. I can use this phone for anything still. It lasts me a long time. So impressed about this phone. This phone's been really great. It's got a good battery in it. I'm going to plug this phone in, and you're going to see a little change. This is my sister's 7. You can tell because I wouldn't have a wallpaper like that, but this is my sister's 7. And you'll tell there's a little change when I do plug it in. So I want to show you that. My phone's at Dan 2, so I got to keep that in mind. But, yeah. Anyway, that's the 7. We got an 87.7, which is matching our settings value. So I'm impressed on that. And yeah, so there's that. Pretty nice right there. Pretty good after about 2 years of owning. And same with the 7. These were unboxed open the same day. So this should give you an example. Ooh, one thing I didn't show you guys though. Charge cycles, my favorite part of this. On charge cycles, we are looking at 501 on my iPhone 7. Now that's getting up there. Really, it's getting close to that 1,000. But instead of 53% battery health on the 6, it's 87 and only 500 left. So that'll be dropping us a little bit, but not that bad. Now I'm going to plug this in, and I'm going to have to do that same process again. It's going to say I need to trust the phone. So it's white iPhone. Maybe if I go to there again. This one must have been trusted already. So here's what the settings value reads to me. Let's see, battery health. We're reading 86 on this settings value. But on the computer, we're reading 85. And the odd thing about this is my 7 is usually used. Oh, but the thing is, and that's the thing. Just this year, I had to do a switch on the phones because we were experiencing data issues. This 7 used to be my 7, but we switched. I got to switch back still, but I'm going to lose my data. Oop, something happened with the garbage can in the kitchen. I felt that in here. That scared me. Sometimes our garbage can has problems, and then it smells like smoke in the kitchen for a half hour. Anyway, this used to be my 7, and we transferred data on the phones, which explains why we're reading 80. Oh, that just went down. That just went down. So it was recalculating that since I last plugged the phone. So as you can see there, 84 on this one because I used to use this phone more. My sister doesn't use them as much, and these were switched. This used to be hers, but we had to switch due to that data change. And I yet to switch back because it's going to be a mess, but you don't need to. They work the same. But however, hers has a little worse battery life because it was used to be mine. But, you know, phones are phones. Anyway, yeah, there's 84 on there, and we have, but here's the funny thing. Here is the funny thing. And which shows that this iPhone 7 has a worse battery installed in it than this one. And they never know that. That's not their fault. They never know what batteries are worse or better. This one only has 481 versus 501, and we're looking at worse of a percentage on there. So that's showing, there's that percent too, 481 on down there, right above the degrees of the battery. It's jumping around there. Why is it jumping around? This phone, and now it says 87. So I don't know. Here's what you guys can look at. This is 86 in the battery thing. That's what I mean. This phone's battery is jumpy. It always changes. Even in the settings app, it's always changing. And look at it. 84.2 now. It's always changing. I don't get it. Now, and the weird thing about this phone, if I go battery info, okay, this updated now is 12 watt. It's a little different there than it was on my other 7 with the same purchase date. So it really confused me. It did. But there's the 7s, which are confusing to me even. Now, I gotta get a charger up in here, guys. Oh, God. 7, I'm at. Okay, now I'm gonna fire the iPads in. So here's my iPad 8. I got this thing 1 year after I got my 7s. So the battery health should be a little better in this. 324 cycles with 92.9 battery health. That's quick, easy. That's all I need to show for you there. These devices, I'm going to get into it a little bit again. So they're fired up. I'm going to put the charger in and I'm going to unlock them. They don't get much use anymore. They're actually, like I said, they were in my cabinet over there, in my nightstand drawer. This one's having problems connecting again. Come on. I want to know myself, actually, here. Okay, oh, got the pop-up for a sec. So what I mean, it's finicky, guys. And that's what I hate about it. Sometimes you gotta screw with it a bit. Now it's gonna say access is denied. And then it pops up, I gotta trust. Then I gotta enter my password. Then I gotta hit, oh, then I enter it wrong. And then I gotta hit try again. Then I gotta close out. And this is with all of them. I don't know why the process is so glitchy. I don't. Anyway, here we are. And iPads impressed me for this reason. Now, this iPad was my sister's, and she goes crazy on Roblox, and I'm telling you that right now, on the iPads. So they get a lot of use on Roblox. My 14, it gets more use than any other device here. I use my phone a ton, but she uses these iPads. This iPad was mine, but not even a year later, I gave it to her to play Roblox on since she didn't have a device. I already had a phone. So I said, hey, hey. And if you clean it, you'll see the markings of her fingers on Roblox. If you guys don't know, it's a game. I mean, you'll see the markings from the thing, and they're burned into the screen forever. They're on the outside and on the actual display. You can see them. So it's got some years. I'm interested to plug this baby in and see. I haven't done it yet ever. So anyway, right here we're looking at 2020 was the basic date I bought the device. We bought the device in 2020, July of it though. This device was manufactured on April 6th of that month, of that year. And we're looking at 700 charge cycles with 88.5%. So as you can see, there's a bigger trend there, a higher percent for those charge cycles. Now let's keep in mind these numbers now. 700 charge cycles and 88.5 as I plug in the 5th gen. And now keep those in mind because it's going to be a minute before I get this device to work. This 5th gen, I'm telling you, it's had a life. I think it's my oldest Apple device that still works, other than my 6s. My SE, that quit on me too. I've had a lot of the Apple devices have problems. I can't find a port for the iPad. Holy. Okay. This is my oldest device that's on the current software. So I'm gonna do another unplug, another plug in. Okay, allow accessory connect. Allow and trust. Enter my passcode. Okay, now I gotta close out, go back in. Now we should get a reading. Okay. What? That's a disappointing result. Only 797 charge cycles. But again, like I said, now this one, manufacturing date was 2017, October 16th of 2017. Yeah, and that makes sense. I got this bad boy in December 25th, Christmas Day of 2017. So it was made 2 months before I bought the device. And it's been here working fine ever since. I got a couple cracks on it though. Those happened when taking the case off, so glad that sucks. But now remember, the old one was 788.5. Now this one's 797 and 81.4. Now you're wondering, well, I thought you used this device a lot. Why isn't the number higher? Well, the thing is, this device got a shorter life. It really did. We got it. I used it for almost a year. Gave it to her. She used it until from like the end of 2018 to the end of 2019. And you'd think it'd be more cycles, but it's not. An iPad lasts a little while. She doesn't plug it in every night. So, you know what I mean? She didn't use them as much back then. I need to get her iPad in here now and see what it is. That's going to make me a little curious. But this device, it was a little shorter-lived device. And after 2019, after about 2020, it was almost in its final days. I mean, I still use it for stuff, but it's almost like an extra device, and it's been since 2021. So that kind of explains this device. But as you can see, that's a lot of cycles. That's a ton of cycles. So this got a definite nice life of use. But that's about it for the devices. I can't show you any percents on the iPads because they won't show you. And then the MacBook, of course, we're looking at 30 cycles. We just opened this. And this was a weird story about how I have this sitting on my desk right now. I'm not going to go explain that. Let's see here, 2021, 11/08. I don't remember when this device was even opened, but it was manufactured around that time. And design capacity 92.9 after 30 cycles. That's confusing me a bit, for sure, on a MacBook battery. However, that says 92. However, if I go in to battery settings, and I look at our battery health, it's giving me a reading of 98. So take into consideration all these details and all these different measurements on these devices with settings and the computer, and take in mind how accurate they can be. And that's what I wanted to show in this video, just my battery health on my devices after so long. And my 6, like I said, is the worst right now, the struggling most device. However, it's still going, plugged in, it works like nothing else, fast, and still getting updates to this day. Actually, just last month I got an update. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. I'm gonna fix my light, not right there, and yeah, we'll let this thing charge up, and I'm gonna get all these things off. So these ones, like I said, I power these off, and like I said, I use these extra. So this one's still at 99. I power them off that way, and I'm not leaving them powered off for a year. Otherwise, you'd want to join it to 50. It's just healthy for the battery. I'm going to take the charger and put it in the drawer, and take these two devices and stack them neatly in this drawer on my nightstand. Just so I can remember where they are. They don't get moved, and they're there when I need them. So yeah, there you go. Be in there for a little while. And this is my iPad currently. So like I said, it had 400 cycles. Alright, so I will make an update on this next year, this video. So yeah, and next year, probably on March 13th. So, oh, my Apple Watch too. I gotta share that. Good thing I looked at that. Now I can't plug that into the computer since it's not a wired connection. If I go to settings, scroll down to battery, sorry about the view. We're at 83. Now I'm noticing my Apple Watch is struggling even to get through the day after 2 years of owning. That's the second thing about devices. You think I pay so much, but battery replacements aren't as much as you pay. But they haven't got to the point yet where, I mean, some phone companies have, but haven't got to the full point where everything is so good yet. They still got work to do on batteries, and it's the major thing. It says even here, Apple Watch batteries, like all rechargeable batteries, including iPhones, iPads, Androids, Googles, Echo, or anything with a battery in it, like not Duracells or something like that, or Energizers, but lithium batteries and those other things. It even says right here, rechargeable batteries are consumable components which become less effective as they age. They are. The chemical reactions are what creates it, and as those chemical reactions get more and more, you're losing those ions and everything that goes into there. So as you can see here, we're getting a reading of 87%. So it didn't last as long. I mean, it's 2 years, 87%, but it's just a small battery in this little Apple Watch. But I need to make a full update video on this. It's still doing great. Screen looks a little scratched, but it's an Apple Watch. The screen is going to get scratched. I am sorry. It's gonna. Anyway, all right. Good batteries. I'm impressed. And even though we're getting readings like these phones these are real good phones. These 7s, 6s. Seriously, I don't recommend them for the batteries. They never made good batteries for the 6s. Actually, before they had a recall on the 6s, they wouldn't last a month, and then they replaced them. And they're all right, but still, like showed, these phones are good. 7s and up are amazing battery phones. All right, I gotta stop talking. My voice is starting to hurt after 26 minutes. I could talk forever about batteries. It's something I could just go on about. But yeah, and like I said, you guys think, well, if my battery's like real low, like 1%, can I just plug the phone in and it'll work? Nope. You might start getting something like a red screen of death. And you got to remember that the charger charges the battery and the battery powers the phone. And some older phones, you can take the battery out and plug it in, like Androids, and it'd still work. However, iPhones and new Androids are not like that. Charger charges the battery and the battery charges the phone. And when the phone's booting, when it shows the dead battery screen, it stays there for a while, and that might be because the battery's failing. And when it boots, it has to get past like 30 seconds without charging. It stops charging on the boot up process. So what's going on there is it needs to get like 3% battery to make that boot up occur. And sometimes what can happen is phones can get stuck in a loop. My 6 did, and that's when I noticed some problems occurring. I had to put it on top of the heater, it's not dangerous by any means. Put it there for 10 seconds. That's all you need. Don't leave your phone on the heater, obviously. Put it there for 10 seconds while the heat's on. Warm the back of the phone. Plug it in, and you'll get an Apple logo. My iPhone 6 was stuck on the dead battery screen for 3 days before I even noticed it wasn't on. And I even unplugged it, plugged it in for another couple days just to test it. It wasn't working. Simply put it on top of the heater, hot heat for 10 seconds, plugged it in. I got the Apple logo, and it booted. It had trouble that night. Now it's flying up like a crazy. So that's what I'm just saying there. But yeah, battery charges the phone and the charger charges the battery. So the charger doesn't power the phone and the phone doesn't charge the battery. So that's kind of how that works. If the battery's not good enough to boot the phone, it won't happen. My 5S had a red screen because it just toasted. I got that phone from someone, but the battery was just toast in it, so it red screened and never booted again. So yeah. That thing would be so bad you'd unplug it and it'd be done. But anyway, that's battery talk. There's a lot of information on batteries, so if you guys have any more concerns, I'd look them up or look other YouTube videos up. There is a ton on batteries. So yeah. And just how batteries work. Look that up. It's amazing how batteries work. Chemical reactions, but those chemical reactions are pretty crazy. It ain't like boring science class either. It's kind of interesting if you're a tech person, I guess. Alright. I will make an update on this next, probably a year.